TV St. Joseph. This is KQ2 News at 10.
That way, if the lights are to go out, you're prepared. A Clinton County family came back early from vacation to find what once was their living room completely covered in rubble. Now they're left picking up the pieces. You can actually play games at this touchscreen table while you eat. And then you open up the windows and you can serve people right from the comfort of the ERV. Plenty of people were in downtown St. Joseph today watching crews battle the flames. One St. Joseph school is putting their teachers' culinary skills to the test. Pilots weren't the only ones who got to fly high today. I would like to see that, but quite honestly, I don't think I believe the groundhog at all. Eric Greitens is now the 56th governor of Missouri, and he says it's time to get to work. Look through the court documents for the details on the alleged incident.
Public safety.
You guys got anybody over here near East or West 16th?
Probably can. What do you got going on?
Well, there's a kid. He's in a red T-shirt, gray shorts, with a white striped tennis shoes. He started up through my yard there. When I hollered at him, he took off running.
What happened after this 911 call has led to claims of excessive force by the parents of a Maryville teen. They claim in a federal lawsuit their autistic 18-year-old son was punched and tased 7 times by officers in Maryville. The lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court by the parents of Christopher Kramer. Kramer was a special education student in his senior year at Maryville High School when the run-in with officers happened last May.
The lawsuit claims Kramer went out for a jog when he stopped in front of a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper's home to tie his shoe.
According to the lawsuit, the trooper called police after seeing Kramer in his front yard.
He was kind of headed towards my front door, and then when I hollered at him, he took off running.
The lawsuit says Kramer ran because he was frightened and continued to run even when the trooper yelled for him to stop.
All right, he's heading down West 16th right now?
Yeah, like I say, I hollered at him, he took off.
That's when dispatch called for officers in the area to respond. Kramer continued to run from a Maryville police officer and a Nottoway County Sheriff's deputy. The officers finally tackled Kramer to the ground, shocking him multiple times with a taser. The lawsuit says Kramer was confused, frightened, and in pain, did not understand what was happening, continued to struggle, cry, and wanted to go home. Kramer was then shocked 6 more times and punched in the head after continuing to struggle with officers.
Kramer was never charged in the incident. His family is seeking an unspecified amount in damages.
Rubble is all that is left where some Clinton County homes and barns once stood after a tornado ripped through Monday night. Matt Gaines is one of many people left picking up the pieces.
And all of a sudden I heard this noise that it was just an awful roaring noise.
Afraid of the storm, he grabbed his family and took cover downstairs, and it's a good thing he did.
And we were just picked the right spot. And we all 3 lived, so.
Now, the basement frame is all that is left of his home. He says he wishes he took cover sooner.
Don't do what I did. Just go in the basement. You know, I had, from the time I made the decision till the time the house was gone, was about 45 seconds.
Just down the road, more cleanup, but a different story.
A Clinton County family came back early from vacation to find what once was their living room completely covered in rubble. Now they're left picking up the pieces.
No, it's not. No, it won't work, I guarantee it.
Paul Calvert and his wife were vacationing in Texas for the summer when they got a call with the bad news.
I was supposed to be watching out for this house, but unfortunately I didn't do a very good job.
They got on the first flight back and were devastated to see the damage.
This is a total loss. My wife has lived here for 60 years. There's so much family stuff here that's ruined or lost that cannot be retrieved.
He says it's hard to consider himself lucky when he looks at the home with so much family history and ruins, but knows it could have been much worse if they were home when disaster struck.
The way it looks, it's probably a God blessing that we weren't home.
Back down the road, Gaines recounts the scary night to remind everyone just how critical taking cover can be.
I shut the door behind me and all hell broke loose. I hunkered down in that corner, and for some reason that green gun safe moved forward on the floor, scooted forward about 3 feet, and I thought we'd had it. And then the steel door fell over the top of it and kind of made it like an A-frame, and it just shielded us.
Christine and I talked with a Missouri prosecutor who says marijuana is still against federal law because it is a dangerous drug with no medicinal value. But I also talked to people with various diseases and their family members who say it could make a big difference in their life. Both sides are passionate about their stance and explain what led them to these beliefs.
A normal night at the Byer household consists of dinner around 6:45. But Harper Goldsby doesn't get to eat pasta with the rest of the family.
He is 6 years old. He has severe progressive epilepsy. He is unable to talk. He cannot walk. There's so many different variations of epilepsy. There will be people that are walking around like you and I that they're able to take pharmaceutical medication and control their seizures, or there's people like Harper who have seizure after seizure all day, every day.
By 7 p.m., it's time for Harper's medications. But despite all the pharmaceuticals,
his quality of life is really poor. He's a very happy guy. He loves his family, loves his sister, loves our pets, loves to go to school, but he does get scared. His seizures scare him, the choking scares him. He turns blue about once a day.
Byer wants to assist her son any way she can.
So it's an undertaking, but you know, I do what I can to help him. But I know that if his seizures were controlled and he did have some help, we wouldn't have to have all of that.
She joined Normal KC, a marijuana advocacy group, a few years ago, where she met Executive Director Jamie Kaz.
We ended up not making the ballot. We just missed out by just a few signatures, and we are going strong and going to try for 2018.
They fell just short of the required amount of signatures needed to end up on Missouri's November ballot, with Missouri prosecutors leading the fight against the initiative.
Here's the biggest problem with trying to legalize marijuana on a statewide basis, and that is it remains illegal under federal law, even though the Obama administration has decided not to enforce those laws.
Due to the Controlled Substances Act of the United States, marijuana is illegal under federal law, but President Barack Obama chooses not to enforce the laws in states that legalized. But
there's going to be a new administration come January. That president may take a very different view of enforcing marijuana laws on a nationwide basis.
However, Zahn's problem with legalizing extends beyond conflicts with federal law.
I believe that marijuana is a dangerous drug. It's absolutely a gateway drug to other drugs as well.
But advocates say
marijuana can help people get off harder drugs.
Zahn says legalizing it wouldn't help medical patients.
The DEA was asked to reclassify marijuana to move it off of Schedule 1 just this last year, and they decided not to after reviewing thousands and thousands of studies that show that marijuana simply doesn't have any medicinal value. So this whole idea of medical marijuana is just a myth.
But Kaz couldn't disagree more.
And when I first got involved with cannabis reform, I wasn't even aware of all of the benefits and how many different conditions it could help.
Jennifer Shockley joined Normal KC when her mother passed away from a rare form of cancer.
There was no chemo or radiation that would help her. It's basically a death sentence.
Shockley's mother, a former registered nurse, thought medical cannabis could have improved her end-of-life quality.
Medical cannabis, get on the ballot, get legal in Missouri to be able to help is one of her dying wishes.
And for others like Sarah Campbell, who has multiple sclerosis, she thinks marijuana could serve as a good alternative to her current medication.
That's really a decision that should be between me and my doctor and shouldn't have anything to do with legislation.
As Harper has another seizure, Byer expresses frustration, as the closest thing to marijuana allowed in Missouri is hemp oil, which is technically legal in the state, but difficult to get access to.
There are not any doctors in the Kansas City area and I haven't actually found anyone in Missouri that is willing to help with that.
Byer says she is desperate to find a way to help her son.
He continues to get sicker the older that he gets, and there are tons of children in the U.S. that are in states that medical marijuana has been legalized that are taking the medication, and it's helping them so much.
This is a map outlining marijuana laws in the United States. 25 states that you can see in green on this map have legalized medical marijuana. Voters in 3 more states, North Dakota, Arkansas, and Florida, outlined in blue, will decide whether or not to legalize Tuesday during the November election. But prosecutors warn a new president will take office soon and could decide to start enforcing federal laws again, potentially causing chaos in the states where it is currently legal. Reporting live in studio, I'm Amber Smith, KQ2, your local news leader.